2 years ago, Australians put their trust in our government to secure their future. And on that day, none of us imagined we'd have to face the most difficult challenges in 3/4 of a century. Sure, it's been difficult. It's been a tough road, but we've achieved so much together, saving lives, saving livelihoods, working to a health plan and an economic plan. We moved quickly, shutting the borders, providing needed support. JobKeeper kept 3.8 million Australians in work. Home Builder generating $30 billion in vital economic activity. There were subsidies for some 170,000 apprentices to stay in their jobs and get a job. Job Trainer supported 450,000 training places, particularly for those coming out of school, and there were 30,000 additional places for students at universities. There's been tax relief for small businesses. 11 million taxpayers are now paying less tax all around the country. More of what you earn in your pocket. And through it all, we've had the largest ever trade surpluses Australia has ever seen. Now, because of all of our actions, all of us, more Australians are now in work today than before the pandemic hit us. 13.1 million Australians. And despite the pandemic, we've been also working on the things that matter to you, not just now in the midst of a crisis, but for your future. First home ownership, from our promised first home loan deposit scheme before the last election, combined with the Home Builder program, means that we're now seeing the highest levels of first home ownership going into the market in 11 years. Electricity prices are down 13% since 2018. Our emissions have fallen by 19% since 2005. Now that means we're on track, as we promised, to meet and beat our Paris commitments. But not through higher taxes, but through technology. We're investing some $20 billion in the new energy technologies that will ensure we're competitive into the future, supporting the jobs and the heavy industries all around Australia, particularly in our regions that depend on reliable and affordable energy. And we're rolling out our new programs to boost our recycling rate, to create jobs, yes, but also to keep our oceans, rivers and coastal environments clean and reduce the amount of waste that's going into landfill. Our $110 billion infrastructure program is underway, as well as a $270 billion Defence Forces rebuild. This is keeping Australians safe. As promised, we continue to stand up for Australia, what we believe in, our values. Whether that's having to stand up to the big multinationals and the tech companies, or the coercion and foreign interference we're increasingly seeing in our own region, we will always stand up for Australia. We're boosting our manufacturing through our Modern Manufacturing Fund and securing our fuel supplies. That makes us more self-sufficient, and we've learned just how important that is in this country, particularly in manufacturing vaccines. And record investments in education and health, including 587 new and amended listings of medicines on the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme. Life-saving medicines getting to Australians who need them, and affordable. And we're committing an additional 130,000 additional home care places for older Australians to ensure they can get the care they need, and that includes what we've announced as part of our aged care reform plan in this budget. Australia is coming back. It's been hard work. Our vaccine program has now provided over 3 million vaccinations, and the budget has set out a plan for securing Australia's recovery. There will still be tough days ahead. This pandemic is not over by a long way. It's worse this year than it was last year, but we are following a uniquely Australian path, our Australian way, out of this pandemic. We have set our course, continuing to manage the health and economic impacts from COVID-19, supporting the creation of more and better jobs, continuing to guarantee those all-important essential services that Australians rely on in mental health and aged care and disability support. And we will continue to do this as we continue to build a safer and more resilient Australia in what is a very challenging and uncertain world. Australia will continue to go forward, as we promised at the last election, stronger, safer and together.
Authorised by Scott Morrison, Liberal Party, Canberra.